Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive into the world of sports injuries, rehab,
Okay,
and all the latest research.
cool.
Yeah, into keeping our bodies in top shape.
It's a fascinating world, because you have so many different disciplines that come together, like biomechanics, physiology,
Right.
even psychology plays a part
Yeah,
in how our bodies respond to all this physical activity.
it's so true. So for this deep dive, we're turning to frontiers in sports and active living,
Yeah.
specifically their injury prevention and rehabilitation section.
That's interesting because that's just one small part of a much larger journal, right?
Yeah.
And it really showcases just how much research there is in the field of sports and active living.
It's really incredible
I
to think
think,
about how specialized each area of research has become.
yeah.
And speaking of specialization, one thing that really struck me was the global team of editors for this section. It's
Yeah.
all over.
Sure.
China, Canada, Australia, Germany.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Really speaks to the collaborative nature of this field.
Totally. Okay, so let's dive into some of the specific studies that caught my eye.
All right.
The first one that jumped out at me was a systematic review of injuries in, get this, artistic swimming.
Oh, wow. Now, that's a sport that requires incredible strength, flexibility, coordination.
Right.
But you don't often hear about the toll it takes on the athletes.
No.
This review was published pretty recently, actually, on February 25th, 2025.
Wow.
It takes a closer look at the types of injuries common in artistic swimming.
Exactly. You think of elegance and grace, but then you realize they're doing all this while holding their breath underwater.
Right.
It just makes you wonder, like, what kind of impact does that have on their bodies?
Well, the review found that muscle strains and ligament sprains were the most frequent,
Really?
particularly in the shoulders, hips, and knees.
Makes sense.
Yeah, when you consider the repetitive movements and the resistance of the water.
Yeah, it's like constantly working out with weight strapped to you, but with added artistry, of course.
Exactly. And that water resistance really adds another layer of complexity to understanding injury mechanics.
For sure. Okay, next up, we're hitting the slopes with a study on skiing.
Right.
Specifically, how pole length impacts lower back muscle activity during double poling.
Okay.
For those who aren't familiar, double poling is a technique where skiers use both poles simultaneously to propel themselves forward,
Uh-huh.
especially on like flat or uphill terrain.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's cool about this study is they tested different pole lengths at various inclines and intensities,
Oh, wow.
which means the findings are relevant for like a huge range of skiers.
I see.
And they discovered that using shorter poles, especially during uphill skiing at higher intensities,
Yeah.
led to greater activation of those lower back muscles.
So I'm wondering, in what situations might shorter poles actually be advantageous?
That's a great question. It might come down to personal preference and skiing style.
Okay.
Some skiers might find shorter poles offer better control or maneuverability, particularly in tight spaces
Right.
or on technical terrain.
Yeah.
But if you're someone who already struggles with lower back pain,
Yeah.
opting for slightly longer poles, especially when tackling those uphill climbs, could be worth considering.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
It seems that the key takeaway is that skiers should be aware of how pole length can impact their bodies
yeah,
and make adjustments based on their individual needs and goals.
for sure.
And consulting with a coach or a physical therapist could be helpful in finding that optimal length.
Absolutely. Getting expert guidance can make all the difference.
Okay, now for something completely different.
All right.
This next one caught me off guard.
Okay.
A case report about a sport climber who developed a unique finger condition called synovial chondromatosis.
Okay, this condition's pretty rare.
Yeah.
Basically, it involves the formation of cartilage where it shouldn't be,
Okay.
usually within the joint lining.
I see.
This can cause pain, stiffness, and even locking of the joint.
Oh, wow.
And for climbers who rely so heavily on their fingers and hands, it can be incredibly debilitating.
I can imagine. I'm curious, though, what are the implications of this case for athletes in other sports where, hand and finger dexterity are crucial?
I think it serves as a powerful reminder to pay attention to even seemingly minor symptoms.
Right?
What might start as a nagging ache or stiffness could be a sign of something more serious,
Yeah.
especially for athletes who push their bodies to the limit.
Right.
Early detection and intervention can be crucial.
It's so easy to brush off those little aches and pains,
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
they'll just go away on their own.
Yeah.
But this case really highlights the importance of getting things checked out by a healthcare professional if they persist or worsen.
Yeah. And I think this leads nicely into the journal's research topics section, which highlights some of the cutting-edge areas of investigation in the field.
Right. It's like getting a glimpse into the future of sports injury prevention and rehabilitation.
Exactly.
So let's talk about those research topics because they really piqued my curiosity.
Yeah, these research topics, they kind of give us a window into where the field is headed.
Yeah.
One that really caught my eye was innovations in foot and ankle sports injuries.
Ooh.
Seems like we're always hearing about ankle sprains,
Right.
other foot-related issues.
Sure.
So I'm really eager to learn about the latest in prevention and treatment.
Oh, absolutely. I think about all the runners,
Uh-huh.
basketball players out there who rely on their feet and ankles so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, any breakthroughs in that area could have a huge impact.
And speaking of impact,
Yeah.
another research topic that's really relevant is advancements in injury rehab and return to sport practices.
Right.
Because it's one thing to recover from an injury, but it's another thing entirely to get back to that previous level of performance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious to see what new strategies and technologies are being developed to help athletes regain their strength, agility, and confidence.
You know, that rehab topic makes me think about the psychological aspects of injury recovery, which are often overlooked.
Yeah.
It's not just about the physical healing, it's about the mental hurdles
Right.
that athletes have to overcome as well.
That's such an important point.
Yeah.
The fear of re-injury, the pressure to perform,
Yeah,
frustration of setbacks.
totally.
Those are all very real challenges that can impact an athlete's recovery journey.
Definitely. And it's not just professional athletes who experience these challenges.
Right.
Anyone who's been sidelined by an injury, even if it's something relatively minor,
Uh-huh.
knows how tough it can be, mentally and emotionally.
Absolutely. Now, for those who have suffered ACL injuries,
Oh, yeah.
there's a particularly relevant research topic: overcoming hurdles in ACL injury recovery.
Yeah.
Multidisciplinary strategies for enhanced return to sport.
Okay, that sounds promising.
Yeah.
Especially, ACL injuries can be devastating,
Right.
especially for athletes who rely on those cutting, pivoting, and jumping movements.
For sure.
So, what kind of multidisciplinary strategies are they exploring?
Well, it's about integrating different approaches.
Okay.
Think physical therapy,
Yeah.
strength and conditioning,
Yeah.
sports psychology, and even nutritional guidance,
Mm-hmm.
all working together to optimize recovery and reduce that risk of re-injury.
It's amazing to think about how far we've come in understanding and treating ACL injuries.
Yeah.
I remember when they used to be career-ending for many athletes.
Right.
But now, with all these advancements in surgical techniques, rehabilitation protocols, there's so much hope for a full recovery.
It's remarkable, isn't it? And the research continues to evolve,
Yeah.
pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
So totally.
Now, shifting gears a bit,
Okay.
let's not forget about that intriguing shoulder rotation study.
Oh, right.
I found the findings particularly relevant for anyone looking to improve their shoulder strength and stability,
Yeah.
whether they're an athlete or just someone who wants to maintain healthy shoulder function.
That shoulder rotation research made me think about how many of us just try to build strength without really understanding the mechanics. Like, it turns out the weight you lift makes a big difference.
Right.
The study found that using heavier loads during those external rotation exercises led to greater activation of specific shoulder muscles,
Okay.
like the infraspinatus and teres minor.
It's all about targeting those smaller, stabilizing muscles
Right.
that often get overlooked.
Right.
They play a crucial role in supporting the shoulder joint and preventing injuries.
So heavier is always better when it comes to shoulder exercises.
Well, not necessarily.
Okay.
Remember, it's essential to progress gradually and prioritize proper form
Yeah.
over lifting heavy weights.
Right.
If you're new to these exercises or have any pre-existing shoulder issues,
Yeah.
it's always best to start with lighter weights and focus on mastering the technique.
Gotcha. So it's like anything else in fitness.
Exactly.
You have to listen to your body.
Right.
Find that sweet spot where you're challenging yourself without overdoing it.
Yeah, pushing too hard too soon can backfire, lead to setbacks.
Totally. Speaking of pushing too hard.
Yeah.
That case report about the climber with synovial chondromatosis
Right.
really highlighted the importance of early detection and intervention.
Uh-huh.
Imagine the frustration of having your passion sidelined by a condition like that.
Oh, yeah.
It makes you realize how crucial it is to address those nagging aches and pains
Yeah,
before they become major problems.
I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah.
When I first started running,
Mm-hmm.
I developed some pain in my knee.
Oh,
I ignored it for a while thinking it would just go away,
Yeah.
but it ended up being a pretty significant IT band issue.
Oh, wow.
Took months to resolve.
It's so easy to fall into that trap of thinking we can just push through the pain,
Right.
especially when we're motivated to achieve our fitness goals.
Yeah.
But sometimes the best thing we can do is listen to our bodies,
Uh-huh.
rest, and seek professional guidance when needed.
Absolutely. It's a valuable lesson for all of us.
Yeah.
Makes me think about those research topics again. Yeah. I'm curious, are there any other areas of investigation that you find particularly exciting or promising?
Well, one trend that's really captured my attention is the increasing use of technology in both injury prevention and rehabilitation.
Oh, interesting.
We're seeing everything from wearable sensors that track movement patterns
Okay.
and identify potential risk factors
Yeah.
to virtual reality simulations that create immersive and engaging rehab experiences.
Oh, I've heard about those VR rehab programs.
Yeah.
It's like stepping into a video game.
Right.
But instead of battling monsters,
Yeah.
you're working on regaining your strength and coordination.
Exactly.
Sounds a lot more fun and motivating
Yeah, for sure.
than traditional physical therapy.
Yeah.
But it's not just about making rehab more enjoyable.
Right.
It's about harnessing the power of technology to personalize treatments,
Yeah.
track progress, and improve outcomes.
And it's not just limited to VR.
Right.
We're also seeing incredible advancements in areas like bioengineering,
Uh-huh.
regenerative medicine, even artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
all with the potential to revolutionize how we approach injury prevention and rehabilitation.
Absolutely. It's an exciting time to be involved in this field.
It really
The
is.
innovations are happening at such a rapid pace.
Yeah.
And it's inspiring to think about the possibilities for improving athletic performance
Right.
and just enhancing overall well-being.
Now, before we wrap things up,
Okay.
I wanted to circle back to that artistic swimming study.
Yeah.
We talked about the physical demands of the sport,
Right.
but I'm curious, what are some of the unique challenges these athletes face in terms of injury prevention?
Well, one major factor is the aquatic environment itself.
Right.
Water provides both support and resistance,
Yeah.
which can be both beneficial and challenging.
Right.
Buoyancy helps reduce impact on the joints,
Yeah.
but the resistance can put added strain on the muscles and tendons.
So it's like they're constantly working against gravity and water pressure
Exactly.
at the same time.
And then there's the whole issue of holding their breath for extended periods.
Right.
I can't even imagine trying to perform intricate movements
Yeah.
while holding my breath underwater.
And let's not forget the repetitive nature of the training.
Oh, for sure.
Artistic swimmers spend hours practicing the same routines,
Right.
which can lead to overuse injuries if they're not careful.
It makes you really appreciate the level of dedication,
Yeah,
resilience these athletes possess,
for sure.
pushing their bodies to the limit while maintaining that grace and artistry.
It's truly remarkable.
It is.
And it highlights the importance of individualized training plans
Yeah.
that consider the unique demands of the sport,
Uh-huh.
athletes' physical capabilities, and their injury history.
Absolutely.
So, what are some of the key takeaways from that artistic swimming study
Yeah.
that listeners can apply to their own fitness routines,
Sure.
even if they're not planning on joining the synchronized swimming team anytime soon?
I think the biggest takeaway is to be mindful of the repetitive nature of certain activities
Okay.
and to incorporate variety into your workouts.
Right.
If you're a runner, for example,
Yeah.
try cross-training with swimming or cycling
All
to
right.
reduce that stress on your joints.
That makes sense.
And if you're a weightlifter,
Yeah.
make sure you're balancing your pushing exercises with pulling exercises
See.
to avoid muscle imbalances.
That's great advice. And it really reinforces the importance of listening to your body,
Yeah,
making adjustments as needed.
for sure.
If you're feeling pain or discomfort,
Uh-huh.
don't ignore it.
Right.
Take a break, modify your workout, or seek professional guidance
Exactly.
to prevent things from getting worse.
Absolutely. And remember, even professional athletes experience setbacks and injuries.
Yeah,
It's all part of the journey.
it's true.
The key is to approach your training with a balanced mindset,
Right.
prioritize recovery, and seek support when needed.
I think that's a great note to end on. Yeah, it really has.
Yeah.
And the biggest takeaway for me is just that, this world of sports injury prevention and rehab is constantly evolving.
Yeah.
There's always something new to learn, new discoveries.
That's what makes it so exciting, right? It's not just about treating injuries.
Right.
It's about understanding the human body and how to help people move better, perform better,
Right.
live healthier lives.
It's like we're constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible in terms of athletic achievement, human physiology, biomechanics.
And the best part is that it's not just for elite athletes.
Right.
This knowledge, it benefits everyone.
Yeah, for sure.
The research being done leads to better treatments, more effective prevention strategies,
Absolutely.
a greater understanding of how our bodies work.
It's true, whether you're a weekend warrior or a seasoned marathoner,
Yeah.
or just someone trying to stay active and pain-free, there's something to be gained from staying informed about these advancements.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to our health and well-being.
So speaking of knowledge, what are some resources or tools that you recommend for listeners who want to stay up to date on the latest research and best practices?
Well, journals like Frontiers in Sports and Active Living are a great place to start.
Yeah.
They offer peer-reviewed research from experts all over the world.
Yes. And, I've found that a lot of these journals offer free access to some of their articles.
Right.
Or you can find summaries or abstracts online that give you a good overview.
Exactly. And don't underestimate those websites and organizations dedicated to sports medicine and physical therapy. They often have articles, videos, and other resources that break things down into easy-to-understand language.
It's amazing how much information is available, but it's important to be discerning about your sources.
Right.
Stick to those that are credible, evidence-based, and backed by experts.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
It's easy to get lost in all the information out there.
Yeah.
So it's crucial to be critical and seek out multiple perspectives.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of sports injuries and rehab, I want to leave our listeners with a thought-provoking question.
Love it. Let's hear it.
If you could envision the future of injury prevention and rehabilitation, say like 10 or 20 years down the road, what are some of the advancements or breakthroughs that you think could revolutionize the field?
I think we'll see even more personalized approaches. Using things like genetic testing and biomarkers to tailor interventions to an individual's needs and risk factors.
It's like personalized medicine, but for sports injuries.
Exactly. And I also think artificial intelligence will play a much bigger role.
Right.
Not just in analyzing data and injury patterns, but also in developing those personalized training programs and rehab protocols.
Imagine having an AI-powered coach that can analyze your every move, predict your risk of injury, and just create a custom plan to help you stay healthy.
Like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It really is.
And I think we'll continue to see advancements in regenerative medicine. Using stem cells and other therapies to accelerate healing. Maybe even regenerate damaged tissues.
From personalized prevention plans to AI-powered coaches to tissue regeneration.
It's incredible.
The future of sports injury prevention and rehabilitation is looking bright.
I completely agree. It's an exciting time to be involved in this field.
Well, on that note, we'll have to leave it there for today.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of sports injuries and rehab.
Absolutely.
We hope you learned something new.
For sure.
And are feeling inspired to prioritize your health and well-being.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, and remember, whether you're a seasoned athlete or just starting out, knowledge is key. To preventing injuries, optimizing performance, and enjoying a lifetime of movement.
Until next time, stay curious.
Stay informed.
And stay active.
Bye, everyone.